But let's get into Clash at the Castle. And I'll be taking lead on this one, so let me get my notes pulled up. Here they are. Clash at the Castle. So we start out, well, I didn't watch the pre-show, so I don't know if there was a match there or not. But we start out, we got the walkers of AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, Bailey, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. So pretty much everybody who's in a match is walking.
Well, it's worth noting that AJ Styles switched things up by sitting.
Yeah, he wasn't walking, but he was the walker. And then we open up with a Drew McIntyre video package. He's welcoming everybody to Scotland. He's the main attraction of this show, so you would assume that he'll be the one doing the video package. Tells everybody, you bring the crazy, we'll bring the fight. He ends by saying, this is going to be good.
They did a shot of the stadium. I thought it looked rad as fuck. I like how you had to go underneath it almost.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Yeah, they did shots of Scotland, and then they showed the stadium, and then
I
they
did
did the
see
walk.
this. I did see the Scotland, but I didn't see the stadium. Maybe I
Oh.
wasn't paying attention to the stadium part.
I just thought it looked rad. But yeah, the McIntyre narration was awesome. Just the visual of him standing in the black screen with the embers, and yeah, it was all about him.
I was like, uh-oh, maybe he is leaving as champion. This seems to be too much of a moment for him. And then also at the end, it's like, uh-oh, I'm second guessing. I was about to send you a message. I'm changing my pick.
I never doubted for a second.
Yeah, I stood strong with it. So our first match, everybody was wondering who's going to open the show. Well, the answer is AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes.
I was
I
shocked.
quit match. Yeah, I was surprised too.
Like, I wasn't surprised that McIntyre and Priest ended the show. Especially, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But this being the curtain jerker, that shocked me because, Cody's supposed to be the most important guy in the company right now.
He is. I mean, I remember there's that thing with Roman Reigns. He was like, I either need to be first or last. I think Brock Lesnar has that too. So they either want to open or close the show. Nothing in between. So I guess for them, it's better than being sandwiched in the middle somewhere.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, we got AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, I Quit match. We find out that the commentary booth is Wade Barrett, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole. So we got a 3-person booth.
Thank God it wasn't McAfee.
They said that Wade Barrett was there because he's from the area. So they had to get him on the show. So I don't know if we've actually talked about it, but AJ Styles, his new music, I actually like it better than his old music.
I liked it tonight because they did the extra theatrics at the beginning. In general, I don't think I like either one of them, to be honest with you. Him having hip hop music. First of all, he's from Georgia. He's got a southern accent.
Funny thing is, I was thinking he is from Georgia. I guess he goes to the cookout too.
I don't know. I don't know anything about AJ Styles personally, but that just doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah, I could see. Like, I don't know anything about him either. So
He wears Georgia Bulldog shit, and he looks like he goes fishing and hunting and stuff.
He does. He definitely goes fishing.
Yeah, so just the music.
I'm assuming that. I think I saw a picture one time. He was like holding a fish up.
It seems like he's got them camo hats with a fish hook on the bill for no reason. Like, why do you have that? I just like it.
Yeah.
Like, what purpose does it serve? Yeah.
Definitely a country boy.
Yeah, I think he should have like Double J's music. Spend my days working hard on the go. The hands on the clock.
Well,
keep spinning too slow.
I don't know. Maybe he can have like
out with my babies
like a Darius Rucker. Boy, is that racist? Or what's the other guy? The other black one? You could have one of them.
Why is that? Why?
Because they meet in the middle. You want some twang to it.
Okay.
Some soul and some twang.
So why not meet in the middle and get some Eminem or
no, you can't do Eminem.
NF? Let's meet
That's
in the middle.
Not country.
So he can keep his rap music that he currently has. It just gets a little bit more purified.
I don't know. Oh, I got one. Bubba Sparks. You can have Bubba Sparks.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting ugly in here.
That's a
He got
perfect
that one.
compromise.
So yeah, we got the entrance. Cole, Barrett, Graves on commentary. Cody Rhodes, he comes out, he gets his woes. Before the bell rang, they had this little song for Cody Rhodes. Is Cody Rhodes, they kept saying, but in a song.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Barrett kept talking about something about it being Earth, Wind, and Fire, but then he corrected himself and said it wasn't. So I don't know, but it was in the cadence of some popular song there. I say all that to say I liked it tonight more than I liked it on SmackDown. Because on SmackDown, they were doing it when AJ Styles was trying to cut a promo and they wouldn't stop and you couldn't hear the promo. So tonight they did it during the match and I don't know, it just came off a lot better. Time and place.
I didn't like it either time because it seemed like all they knew how to do was sing the names of people.
Yeah, that was their thing.
And it's like, come on. Did anybody see fucking Backlash or whatever? It was Backlash, right?
Yeah, in France.
Yeah, okay. Did anybody see the Backlash? You're going to come at this just singing names? Did you not see what the fucking France crowd did? They had whole songs.
They did. And they had that stupid 2 count thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they did a good job.
Yeah. I did think it was funny that they were legitimately giving everybody the finger.
They
Oh,
did.
we're just playing around with you. Fuck off.
And
playing along with the show.
They had a fuck you AJ chant at some point.
Yeah, they sure did.
So yeah, we get into the start of the match. Cody Rhodes tries to get AJ Styles to say I quit by doing stuff like hitting a baseball slide and throwing him into steel steps. Legitimately, he asked him after those 2 spots. They fight.
Surprisingly, he didn't submit.
Yeah. They fight through the crowd, up the ramp. They go into the gorilla, and we can see Triple H and Bruce Pritchard sitting there. There were some other people there. I think I saw Kenny Dykstra too. I did find it kind of funny. So you got 2 dudes fighting right in front of you.
One
and
of
you're
them
just
strangling the other with cords, and they didn't move a muscle.
And you're just sitting there looking at your monitor like
Yeah.
it's not happening.
It was weird. I was disappointed that the backstage fighting was so short-lived. They went to Gorilla, and then they just went back to the ring.
Yeah, I was getting excited. It's like, oh, they're actually going to the back. They're fighting in the hallway. It's like, are they going to fight all over the arena?
That's what I was hoping for.
But yeah, we did not get that. They did their short stint in Gorilla, and then they come back to the ring. Jumping forward a little bit, there was a spot where AJ Styles does a brainbuster to Cody Rhodes on the table, the announcer's table. And then he goes over to talk to Mama Rhodes, who's in the attendance. Now, there were some people who said that she was there because she may play a part in Cody Rhodes losing. I saw that floating around. But yes, AJ Styles talking to Mama Rhodes. He turns back to Cody Rhodes.
Oh, she called him an asshole.
She did. And to everybody's surprise, Cody Rhodes is now bleeding from that brainbuster spot.
He had a little pap smear, yeah.
Yeah. Surprising, we got blood in this match. AJ Styles did say as much. He's going to make Cody bleed, so.
He even said, we got a bleeder.
Yeah. But it was cool. Cody Rhodes still doesn't quit, though. So he's defiant in quitting, even though he's now bleeding. He got brainbuster on the table. AJ Styles is clearly now in control. He goes for the spot that he did a couple weeks ago during his retirement, that being the Styles Clash off the steps. Cody Rhodes turns it around. We fight back into the ring. AJ Styles, he has a chair. He does the mini version of a Pillmanizer on Cody's neck. So he puts the chair on Cody's neck. Instead of jumping from the second rope, he does a knee. Cody Rhodes still will not quit.
Yeah, that wasn't even close to being the finish.
Yeah. Which should have been the finish.
Right? Cody Rhodes shouldn't have been walking.
But I did say, well, he didn't come from the second rope. So I guess that's the saving grace there.
Okay.
Like he only did it from the standing position.
He only sandwiched his neck between 2 pieces of steel from the standing position. I got you.
But yeah, that was not enough to make Cody Rhodes quit. So he's like, all right. So then he goes out and gets a kendo stick. He starts wearing Cody out with the kendo stick. Cody Rhodes still will not quit. All right, let's keep going. He grabs the ref's belt and he starts whipping Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes still will not quit.
He fish hooked him at some point, which was fucking great.
Yeah, he got a little fish hook in his mouth. And Cody Rhodes, yeah, still doesn't quit here. So he puts Cody Rhodes into an STF, or a Regal Stretch if you want to call it that. Cody Rhodes, he won't quit. He won't quit. AJ Styles won't let go. Cody Rhodes can't get out of it. And lo and behold, Cody Rhodes passes out.
He did.
So he is out like a light. AJ Styles starts celebrating. He didn't quit. He passed out, but he didn't quit. What do you mean? He's out.
You didn't literally say I quit.
I wrote that maybe this is the moment. Remember I said that, it'd be funny if they did the Rock Mankind thing. Maybe this is where it happens. Because Cody Rhodes is out. So
right.
Puts the microphone to him and yeah. But it's not where we end the match either. So AJ Styles, he's taken aback that the match isn't over because Cody Rhodes is passed out. So then he goes outside and grabs some water. I'll wake him up. Cody Rhodes is already up at this point, but he's still putting water on him.
The best part is when he poured the water on him and he threw the water like point blank at the back of his head.
He did.
It was great.
But yes, Cody Rhodes is still defiant through all this. We get another spot where AJ Styles goes to yell at Mama Rhodes. Mama Rhodes is also defiant, so she slaps AJ Styles. Then she goes like she's going to sit down, and she slaps him again. And then she goes like she's going to sit down, and she slaps him a third time. AJ Styles, he's like, bitch! And he goes and grabs a chair. I
was waiting for it. Like, come on, AJ, cross that line.
Yeah, he goes and grabs a chair, and everybody's like, what are you doing? On commentary, you can't do it. They sold it well. It was like, you're going to get us taken off the air. Cooler heads prevail. So he goes looking under a ring. He finds a bag. And everybody thinks, oh, here comes the thumbtacks. He's like, no, I got something a lot better.
Graves said, oh, you know what we store in those velvet bags? Like, how do you just have velvet bags of thumbtacks just lying around? What do you store them for? When's the last time there were thumbtacks in a WWE match? Was it even WWE at the time?
Yeah, I'm sure Mick Foley did it. But yeah, now they use like Legos and other stuff, which it's creative. It hurts just as bad, but yeah, they've stopped doing the thumbtack spots. Also, Michael Cole said one person used to put a snake in the bag.
Yes.
But in the bag, AJ Styles pulls out a pair of handcuffs. Also in that bag is a chain. Also in that bag is the key to said handcuffs. Because why
that will come into play later.
So AJ Styles, he handcuffs Cody Rhodes' hands behind his back.
These are long ass handcuffs too.
Yes, to be noted that these are long handcuffs, so they're comfortable, and that also is going to come into play. But then he starts wearing Cody out again with the kendo sticks. Cody Rhodes, still ever defiant, will not quit. We get another spot where AJ Styles goes and talks to Mama Rhodes. There's a lot of this happening.
It's Mama Rhodes.
Yeah, he keeps talking to her for some reason. He goes out, he goes back in. At this point, Cody Rhodes has found a way to get the handcuffs from behind his back where they were to the front of him. Again, mentioned that they were long handcuffs, so he probably just did the old slipperoo.
Well, they showed it. He casually just slipped them under his ass. It was on replay.
Oh.
It was like the first thing they showed on replay. Just him, easy as pie. No struggle whatsoever. Like, why the fuck would you bring those types of handcuffs with you to torture somebody with?
I don't know. And why was the key in the bag, too?
And why would you leave the key just floating around?
Yeah. Like, oh, there's the key. Just take it and throw it. But
yeah, let me just set it here in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, kind of made AJ Styles look like a little bit of an idiot.
Oh, the whole thing did.
But Cody Rhodes still handcuffed. Now that they're in the front of him, he's able to mount some comeback. So AJ Styles, he grabs that chain that I said was in the bag. He wraps it around his forearm to do the phenomenal forearm. Cody Rhodes, he takes the chair, and he's still handcuffed, by the way. As the phenomenal forearm is coming, he throws the chair, hits AJ Styles with it. AJ Styles falls through a table who was previously set up on the back.
The long ass table, longest fucking table ever. It was as long as the announce table almost.
Yeah. Had to make sure he didn't miss.
He's setting up for the phenomenal forearm, and he's looking at Cody. He's taunting him, and he's completely ignoring the fact that Cody's grabbing the chair. But Cody turns around with the chair in his hands. AJ's looking at him. He doesn't give a fuck.
Well, he's handcuffed, so it's like,
okay,
you are handcuffed.
He has a chair. Why are you going to jump at somebody with a chair in their hand?
Well, after the chair spot, Cody Rhodes crawls his way over. Remember, we said there was a key in the bag? Well, now that key comes into play because he gets the key, takes off the handcuffs. Now he starts to mount his comeback. He hits a disaster kick, Cody Cutter, and he hits 1 crossroads, 2 crossroads, 3 crossroads. The last one being on a chair. AJ Styles, he still doesn't quit at this point.
No. Cody waved off the official.
Did he?
After the third one, the official was going to ask him, and then Cody's like, no, get the fuck away.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Cody Rhodes, he handcuffs AJ Styles to the ropes like a normal person would do, not just behind his back.
Right.
So AJ Styles handcuffs to the ropes. The key is nowhere to be found. So AJ Styles now is basically a one-armed man, and he can't really do anything. So Cody Rhodes, he gets a chair, starts to wear AJ Styles out with the chair, hits him in the sternum, hits him in the back, hits him in the ankle. So he's handcuffed. Ref asks him, do you want to quit? No, I'm never going to quit.
Screw you, Cody Rhodes.
So at this point, Cody Rhodes is like, all right, you're handcuffed to the rope, so there's not much you can do here. So he goes out to the ring. He gets some steps, the top portion of the steps. He throws them into the ring. He holds them over his head, and he's about to crush AJ Styles with the steps. AJ Styles, realizing what's in front of him.
He immediately quit. He quit, yeah. He quit like a bitch. He's like, I quit.
He realizes, I'm handcuffed. He's got steps. So he says it. I quit. And that's the end of the match. Cody Rhodes retains his title off of this. And then we got the post-match. AJ Styles is still handcuffed. Cody Rhodes is still holding the steps over his head. He looks down at his mom. It's like, you put my mom through a lot of stuff just then. So he does it anyway. Hits AJ Styles with the steel steps.
Bet AJ feels stupid. If I was AJ, I would have pretended to be knocked out with the chairs. You barely can't lose that way.
Well, I mean, you can't. But I did write down, maybe we get a third match out of this. Because, AJ Styles can say, hey, I beat him. He was passed out. So I would totally beat him. But yeah, I think that's going to be the kernel for the rematch.
I mean, it makes sense, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to that. Because that means Cody Rhodes would beat him 3 times in a row.
That's true. And then what happens post-match, it also shows that maybe it doesn't happen, but it could. Post-match, Cody Rhodes is celebrating. Oh, I should mention, when he hit AJ Styles with the steps, the crowd was still singing his theme song through this whole thing. So.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck about AJ.
Yeah. So post-match, Cody's making his way up the aisleway, and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline shows up in the aisleway, and he stands kind of like shoulder to shoulder with Cody, like they're both facing the same direction.
He was even applauding.
Yes. And he says something, and then they attack Cody Rhodes, that being the Bloodline. Tama Tonga and
infamous Tongaloa.
They sneak up, and it's got a 3-on-1 attack on Cody Rhodes. Out comes Randy Orton and Kevin Owens for the save. And it's like a 3-on-3 battle, and they fend off the Bloodline. So I guess we're telling the story that Solo Sikoa is next. So maybe that's what we're doing next for Money in the Bank.
I got a problem with them just coming out and then getting backed off like that.
Well, they had the numbers at first.
Yeah, but come on, man. They're supposed to be fucking... First of all, they're Samoans.
Sure.
They're crazy Samoans at that. Like, they're not the nice, civilized Samoans that you'd want to talk to and, like, have a conversation with. They're the Samoans that you'd want to avoid. For the love of God, just don't pay attention to me at all. It's fucking Randy Orton and Kevin Owens again, and we've done this.
That's true.
I don't mind Cody Rhodes getting inserted in this. I don't mind that angle, but fucking Kevin Owens. Can't Kevin Owens do anything else?
Maybe it's just going to be like one 6-man tag. I don't know.
It's either going to be a 6-man tag or Cody's going to face Solo and Kevin and Randy are going to face the Tongas, or it's going to be a 6-man.
We're definitely going to see a 6-man tag. Maybe they just do it on SmackDown. No, they definitely have to blow it off on a pay-per-view.
Well, the blow off would be either the 2 matches or the 1 match.
Well, there was something else that happened during this. Now, I missed it, I'll be honest. But the sleuths online, they caught it after they fended off the bloodline. Randy Orton, he was saying something to Cody, and he was like not looking at Cody, he was looking like right at the title. So there's a tease that Randy Orton is eyeing the world title now.
Unless he's
Shout
trying
out
to
to
look
the
at his,
people who caught that.
maybe he's trying to look at his wang.
It does kind of look that way too. I'm sure. I mean, they're old friends. I'm sure he's seen it already.
That's true. I mean, they're in the same locker room.
Yeah, he's seen it. But yeah, that could be a tease of where we're going for SummerSlam. So then we go back to this 6-man tag, maybe at Money in the Bank, which is next.
I'm just waiting for this bloodline to be as dangerous as Heyman is trying to sell him to be. I also have a problem with Cody passing out in this match.
Yes, he sure did.
Because in
And
my
you would
mind,
think that was it, but yeah, it was not.
well, no, because they had to fucking like finagle a convoluted finish. They could have just not done that, and
Sure.
Cody would have, maintained some credibility. But now he passed out during a match. You can say he didn't say I quit, but he still, in my mind, he lost the match.
Maybe he was so defiant that he just wouldn't quit, so much so that he passed out, a la Stone Cold.
And he lost the match.
He sure did.
So I mean, or
But
the
he
match,
shouldn't have, because that was an I Quit match.
it was a
wasn't that an I
submission
Quit?
match
Yeah, it was a submission match, and he didn't submit. So why did he lose?
because
There
he
you go.
passed out. He couldn't continue,
But he didn't submit.
but he couldn't.
You got to
continue.
submit. I even had a problem with it back then when we did our retro reviews. Like, well, he didn't submit. I think I even said it. You can go listen to it, audience. That would be WrestleMania 13. It is in our retro review section. So you can go back and pull that up if you want to.
Okay, so if this were real life, let's say Cody Rhodes passed out during an I Quit match. Real life, are they supposed to just sit there Indian style until he wakes up? Like, at what point do you just say, oh, enough is enough?
Well, it's at the ref's discretion. I don't know. I found it weird too.
Okay. Then, yeah, I thought the bloodline looked like bitches. They traveled all the way to Glasgow to intimidate Cody Rhodes, and then they got powdered by 2 people they've beaten already.
We'll just chalk that up to jet lag, and they didn't expect that it was going to be even fight. There you go. So after that, we start shilling the Vegas WrestleMania. I do find it weird that they're both promoting that and the SummerSlam. Like, both are being promoted equally. And again, SummerSlam is in 2026, so they don't even know where they're going for 2025. They're really trying to make good with Minnesota. So, the next match, we have the Witches versus the Brawlers versus the Blacks. Translation, we have Aladon Applefire, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Jade Cargill, Bianca
Not
Belair.
Jade.
Now, I did have a lot of notes for this. I did. But do you remember in high school when we had like, it happened like once or twice maybe, but we had like a really, really, really bad game. And instead of watching tape, the coach was like, we're just moving on to next week. That's the pass I'm giving this match. I had detailed notes. At the end of the match, I just deleted. I said, we're just going to move on to the next match. So during the match, Jade Cargill, she went for a springboard move and she slipped on the rope. And then from that point on, the match was really off the rails.
So it's
So
like her confidence was shattered.
yeah, or it's like, I don't know. I hear for like new people, it's choreographed spot for spot. It's like, okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. Essentially, the whole match is scripted. And it's like when she did that botch, the script fell off for her and she didn't know what the hell to do. So it did not go well from that point on. She
Okay.
tried her best to get back on track, but yeah, from that moment, it just went off the rails. So we're not going to break it down too much from that. The end of the match, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, they go for their little double team move, which is a DDT into a back suplex, and they nail it. They nail it on Shayna Baszler. Before they go for the pin, Isla Dawn catches Jade Cargill in a back suplex, and then she goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And we have new women's tag team champions, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, out of nowhere.
I took notes for this. I just have fuck you. Bullshit. First of all, how could they not have just beaten Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler when they were like, something still?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
They
it was a
were-
long time ago when they were something still. Now they're fuck this. We spent too much time on them.
Yes, they're new tag team champions to the surprise of absolutely everyone. Honestly, for both their sake and our sake as fans, I hope there's not a rematch clause for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Because if there is a rematch clause, go ahead and give them the titles back now. They're definitely not going to lose a one-on-one match. And they were number one on the show because they're from the area. And number two, although, I don't know, maybe it was a cool thing. And now they're both from the WWE. Of all the places, two people out of like, I don't know, 100,000 people or however the hell many people are there, both find their way to the WWE. So maybe that was a little cool.
No, they both suck. They both mean nothing. When they first debuted, when they were the NXT women's champions, they could have done something with them, but no. They look awful. They sound awful. I washed my hands of them.
There you go. Now, I will go ahead and note, because I don't want people to come at us in the comments for not mentioning it, so we'll go ahead and mention it. There was a little story that broke recently, but apparently this happened like a month ago. Alba Fire, her parents were in a car crash and she lost her mother. So this was her competing in her hometown a month after losing her mother. So I do want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Well, that would explain why she looks so sickly.
Yeah, definitely. And I think her dad's still in the hospital. So it was a hard time for her.
She has a pass. Isla Dawn, on the other hand, champion. God damn it. Why would you let her speak?
Well, I did write post-match. They celebrate with like bouquets of flowers. They get handed flowers. They celebrate with the family. For some reason, Isla Dawn straddles one of the bouquets. And I said, I wish I was that bouquet. So we got more straddling. But yeah, good moment for them.
Bad
we'll see what happens.
For fans.
We'll see what happens next. I'm sure they won't be around long. Them being as champions. We move on. Master Gable, Chad Gable, that is, with Maxine Dupree and Otis, and he's taking on Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I did write the "You Suck" chant for Chad Gable's entrance is already dead. So they started it in France and is already dead. They don't do it anymore. So I do want to point that out.
I thought they did it on SmackDown. Or no, they just chanted "You Suck."
Yeah, they chanted "You Suck," but it wasn't to the song.
Yeah.
So for me, this was our first visual of the loud and live meter, which is like this thing that they're showing to show how loud it is. We topped out at 102 on this one. What I failed to mention is this was during Sami Zayn's entrance. So Sorry about that. That's a big piece of the puzzle. So they were, let's go. So yeah, they topped out at 102. Before the match, watch it here. They acknowledged that there's only 3 men in existence, WWE wise, that have beaten Gunther. Those 3 men, Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and Sami Zayn. Is someone missing there? Yes, there is. But they don't acknowledge it, apparently. For those of you who don't know, Chad Gable has also beaten Gunther, and it was a countout. So apparently they haven't acknowledged it. There was even a point where Michael Cole said that Chad Gable trained Sami Zayn to beat Gunther because he felt that it was easier to beat Sami Zayn than it was to beat Gunther. And then when he failed to beat Sami Zayn, that's why he turned. He had the plan all along because he couldn't beat Gunther himself. I'm going to get someone else to beat Gunther. And then I could beat that person.
Yeah, they don't watch the show.
They don't. But it was good that they tried to like tie it all in together. So the match started out slow, started out technical, and it started out with each man jockeying for position with Otis. As the crowd would chant for Otis, you'd have Chad Gable saying, "Don't listen to them, don't listen to them." And you have Sami Zayn say, "Listen to them, listen to them." So each man is trying to get Otis on their side. Chad Gable, he worked the arm during the match. That was the big story of the match. If we go forward a little bit, Sami Zayn, he's rattling a comeback. He hits a one-arm Mikanochu driver because, again, he was getting his arm worked on. That was kicked out. Then Chad Gable, he gets the advantage again. He hits a powerbomb, a diving headbutt. Sami Zayn kicks out of that. Chad Gable goes for his German suplexes. He hits 2. Sami Zayn, he counters the 3rd one. He hits 2 of his own. And then there was a bunch of standing switches. Gable would switch, and Zayn would switch. They go back and forth a couple times. Finally, Sami Zayn hits a half and half German suplex. And this looked nasty because Chad Gable landed right on the top of his head. Chad Gable actually kicked out of that. He finally gets Sami Zayn into a crippler crossface. Sami Zayn reverses it and gets his own crippler crossface. Chad Gable reverses that into an ankle lock. So a bunch of chain wrestling going on here. We go to a moment where Chad Gable, he says, "Okay, Otis, Maxine, it's time." That being, it's time to cheat. Chad Gable, he rode outside the ring. He looks at the Intercontinental title that's on a platform. He hands it to Maxine Dupree. He gets back in the ring. He starts to choke Sami on the second rope. This would cause a distraction because, as you know, once you do a choke, the ref has to run you down. So the ref's yelling at Chad Gable. He's telling Maxine Dupree to hit him. Maxine Dupree, she wields back. She can't do it.
She's useless.
Yeah. Chad Gable, he's upset at this. He says, "Why do we have to keep going through this every week?" He calls her up on the turnbuckle. She's standing on the apron as if she's a tag partner. And he's yelling at her, "You never listen to me." Sami Zayn, he gets up in the background and he goes for a haluva kick. But Chad Gable, he sidesteps it. And Sami Zayn, he almost hits Maxine, who's, again, standing there like a tag team partner. So through this distraction, Gable hits a chaos theory. And we get a very close 2 count. So close, the ref actually pulled up before Sami Zayn did. So there was that. Now, Chad Gable's beside himself. I just hit the chaos theory. I didn't get the win. So he starts to yell at Maxine Dupree again. And he's telling her to get out of here. Otis, he's seeing Chad Gable yell at his woman. So he says, "I can't take it anymore." He goes over. He stands in between Gable and Maxine Dupree. "I can't let you do this anymore." The crowd pops. They pop so much that the old decimal thing was at 106. Christ. Now, I want you to take note of that. They were at 106 for this by their own admission because of that little decimal thing. This was the loudest they were in the night. Like, they can't say anything else unless the decimal thing was lying. It doesn't lie. So, yeah, Otis, he stands up to Gable. And Sami, he goes for a top rope senton. Gable, he sidesteps that. It hits Otis. So now Otis is down. Sami Zayn is down. Gable's down. Maxine Dupree's down. Gable, he goes for a moonsault and he hits everybody with that except for Maxine, of course. Now, he gets Sami Zayn on the outside in an ankle lock. We're hanging over the barricade. You can't win the match out there, but he's just doing damage. And this is where it gets, I guess, more interesting. So Maxine Dupree is checking on Otis because he just got both the top rope plancha and the moonsault. As she's checking on Otis, Sami Zayn, he reverses the ankle lock that's put on the outside, and he reverses it with such momentum that he throws Chad Gable into Maxine Dupree's leg. And accidentally, Chad Gable chop blocks Maxine Dupree. Oh, by the way, she's wearing an ankle brace, so she's still hurt from the previous falling off the apron. But yeah, he hits the chop block. Otis, he's come to at this point. So he sees this happen. And then there's just this moment where he's looking at Maxine on the ground. Chad Gable is looking like, oh shit. Crowd's chanting, you fucked up. Otis is beside himself. He doesn't know what to do. So we do more teasing that he's going to turn on Chad Gable, but then he doesn't. This time, instead, he just says, fuck this, I'm out of here. He picks up Maxine Dupree and he leaves, turns his back on Gable. Through all this distraction, Gable, he gets in the ring. He gets hit with a helluva kick. Thanks for coming. 1, 2, 3, Sami Zayn wins. And still, your Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. To the surprise of me, I don't know about everyone.
I guess we did get this one wrong. Yeah, Gable's dead now.
Yep, and they got that online chatter. This is leading to a bigger story because he's gonna. Because remember, I said he's getting the new Alpha Academy. So apparently, this loss is really showing him that this Alpha Academy that he's with is just not going to get it done. So he needs his new Alpha Academy. So this is leading to a bigger story.
The bigger story is going to be feuding with Otis and Tozawa.
Well, my question is, okay, the bigger story is he gets the new Alpha Academy. Fine. But how are we possibly going to lead to another Intercontinental title match? Especially when they made such a big deal that he's lost 5 well, this will be the 6th chance he's had at the title and lost them all. 3 to Gunther, now 3 to Sami Zayn. How can we go back? We can't. But I'm sure they're going to find a way. And then the community is going to be, oh yeah, see, we told you. That's what I'm looking forward to. I told you there's a bigger story. Yeah, losing 6 times. That's the bigger story.
Well, now I don't believe him. Like in any title match he has going forward, I don't believe he's going to win. Yeah, and therefore, I don't care about any match he's going to be in because it ultimately isn't going to lead to anything.
Right, and even got Michael Cole on commentary saying, that's it, Chad Gable. That was your last chance. You're done.
Right.
How are we going to turn that back into him getting another chance? Turning on the Alpha Academy? Yeah, you're done. Sami Zayn has nothing to do with you left. Like, is he just going to keep meddling in this Alpha Academy business?
I don't see why he would.
Yeah.
I don't see why the Alpha Academy would stick around.
Well, they're still controlled.
Yeah, but they were controlled by somebody they thought was a winner. That their coach, their teacher. But if your teacher sucks,
your teacher can't get it done. I guess we'll have to see where it goes. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get to another match. Oh, and you get Money in the Bank is in Canada, so there's another thing that people were like, oh yeah, it's going to be a much bigger story because they're in Canada. So he's going to beat Sami Zayn in Canada. And that's going to be a bigger deal. Number 1, I don't know if it's going to be a bigger deal because he's lost 6 times. Number 2, he still might not beat Sami Zayn.
I don't think I care.
I care to see the new Alpha Academy, but I don't know how we get to another match.
And why would you care to see the new Alpha Academy? Because Gable's a loser. And why would the new Alpha Academy want to be associated with a loser? It'd be one thing if he was a winner.
If he's stringing some wins together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't think this through. I would say it wasn't the right call, but
No,
who am
not
I?
at all. Shouldn't have had Gunther lose the goddamn title to begin with.
Well, he's on the bigger things now.
He could have had both.
Speaking of bigger things, Piper Niven versus Bailey.
Nice.
Oh, they did a video package. I guess I should have mentioned the other ones, but whatever. I didn't watch them really.
I
They did
didn't
a
either.
video package for Piper Niven. I actually did watch this one, and I will say this one was good. And I'll also say, if you didn't watch like the weekly show and you just watched this video package, they made Piper Niven seem like she was an actual credible threat. So that's good. But unfortunately, I watched the weekly show and I know that she's just there because they're in Scotland. Also, to note, no decimal things coming out here for Piper Niven's entrance. And Bailey comes out. Happy birthday to Bailey. She is 35. So now it's officially not creepy for me to be thirsting over her. But I'm sure I'll find a way to turn it around and make it creepy. So don't worry. We had mixed reactions, honestly, for Bailey. They did sing that whatever the hell song every international crowd sings. They did that. But there was a lot of cheering for Piper Niven, obviously being from her home country. Early on, Chelsea Green, she gets thrown out because she tries to get involved. She gets thrown out. Piper Niven and her have this moments like, what are you doing? You were supposed to be here. Chelsea Green is like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So maybe they're trying to do a split for them. I don't know. I don't think Piper Niven's going to have a big role after this, if I had a wild guess.
She's just going to be around when somebody needs somebody large to slam. That's her role.
Well, Piper Niven, they gave her some offense at the beginning. She hit a rolling senton, looked good. This is on the outside. Fast forwarding halfway through the match, Bailey, she's mounting a comeback here. She hit a hanging stunner into a hanging elbow drop. And then she gets Piper Niven on the mat. She hits a traditional Macho Man elbow drop. And Piper Niven kicks out of all this. Piper Niven, she gets some offense here. She gets a Uranagi and then a running senton. She gets a 2. She goes for a Vader bomb. Bailey meets her at the second rope. We get a Bailey to belly suplex. That gets a 2 count. Then a masked woman comes out to the ring. So she's out there to help Piper Niven in a lucha mask. No one knows who it is. It's actually Chelsea Green, but yeah, no one knows who it is. Through all this distraction, Piper Niven gets the upper hand again. She hits a twisting Michinoku driver, and apparently it is called the Piper driver. So apparently this is in her bag, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. It looked good, and I think it should be her finisher. Not that I know what her finisher is because she never wins. It's that splash while they're sitting down. But yeah, this Piper driver looked good. We go to the outside after the Piper driver spot. Bailey rolls to the outside and she tries to mount some offense to Piper Niven. She gets caught up in a boss man slam to the outside. At this point, the crowd has completely turned in favor of Piper Niven. Weird to hear. And we go back into the ring. So we have a spot where Piper Niven, she goes for a Samoan drop, but she has Bailey a little bit low. Bailey counters this into a crucifix bomb, and she's able to hold Piper Niven down for the win. So there you go.
I got nothing to add.
No fat jokes?
My note was Bailey beat the whale. That's all I put.
There you go. Well, we're kind of flying through this then. And now, our main event of the evening. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, World Heavyweight title. And before we start the match, we have our Drew McIntyre entrance. They had some bagpipe thing going on. They were playing, it sounded like Roddy Piper's music, but maybe that's just,
It was.
it was, but they called it something. like
Yeah,
some
but
kind of anthem.
because they're stupid. It was Roddy Piper's music.
Well, maybe he was using whatever anthem
No, it's Roddy Piper's.
it was. But yeah, they're playing that music, and then out comes Drew McIntyre. He doesn't have Broken Dreams, which was teased, so he clickbaited everybody there. And our live and loud meter is at 104 for McIntyre's entrance. Remember, Otis was at 106, so Otis wins. Which is crazy that Otis got the biggest pop of the night, but here we are.
Right.
So, unfortunately, for the start of this match, I was distracted. There's a lot of stuff happening over at the household here, so I didn't get the start of it. So we can pick up.
So they did Roddy Piper's theme, and they did a band. They played McIntyre's theme music while the band, some of the bagpipe players were playing, and the other ones were just like standing. So I don't know why the live band didn't just play McIntyre's theme music.
And this was different than the bagpipe guys.
I believe so. It was his theme music. The that wasn't people. That was the theme music.
Okay.
They should have just had like the drums and it would have been cool. And then Scotland sings McIntyre's name because that's their thing. They did for Rhodes and Styles. I thought they did it to others. I don't remember you mentioning that though.
Sami Zayn, they also did it for him.
Okay. Priest had a hell of an entrance. Like his presentation is night and day from Raw. Because like the fire and shit and that fucking raven or crow or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like the little touch that they've added where it's like blurry and then he walks into it and it like becomes focused. It's like a demon walking through fire. I guess it's supposed to be like the devil walking towards you and then it focuses and it's him.
And then they did the introductions. I don't know why Samantha Irvin got another nameplate. She's not that important. I get that she's a decent announcer, but she doesn't have to be the center of the show. Howard Finkel was named. He wasn't like, prominent throughout the whole
star.
Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did the introductions. They're kind of talking shit and they're not looking away from each other. And then Samantha does Priest's introduction and he turns to the crowd and he raises his belt and then McIntyre just gets in his face. It's like, no, motherfucker. You're not taking your eyes off of me. It was great. Skipping ahead a little bit. I don't know where you are.
So we have McIntyre. He throws Priest into the Prime Hydration Station. They fight back into the ring. Priest hits a Hurricane Rana. McIntyre counters this and hits a Claymore kind of out of nowhere. Priest kicks out at 2.
Is that the one where he just dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good sell.
Yeah, so that was a 2. We thought it was it there, but it wasn't. So they fight over to the outside of the ring. McIntyre's on the outside. He gets kicked. And then this spot happens. So if you're familiar with Damon Priest's moveset, he has a move where he bounces off the second rope and then does a front flip to the person on the outside. So that's his dive move. Well, he goes to do this dive move. And I guess he didn't hit the rope right. And his foot slips and he goes forward and bangs his head off of the apron on the side. And now his foot is like tied up. Like completely tied. His head. It was, it wasn't as bad as you would think it would be, but
I'm sure it didn't feel good.
Yeah. So his foot is completely tied up in the ropes. And he's hanging upside down, so much so that McIntyre like immediately tries to help from the outside.
The ref and McIntyre, they both look at each other like, "What the fuck? What do we do?" And Priest is just upside down, squirming. He shouldn't be doing the little flippy move. I seem to remember saying that.
You did say that. Maybe this is the end of it. I know for me that'd be the end of it.
He has no business doing it. And then his dumbass did a Frankensteiner later. Like, motherfucker, you're a big dude.
Yeah, they said something about he's a heavyweight that moves like a cruiserweight. Like,
you can do cruiserweight shit without doing the flippy floppy shit.
That's true.
You can be creative. Do something other than something that you shouldn't be doing. That'd be like if the Giant did a shooting star press.
Well, we see what happens when big people try to do things like that.
We'll get there.
So yeah, Priest at this point now he's completely hung upside down,
Yeah, he is.
foot tied in the ropes. The ref is trying to get him untied. He can't. McIntyre, being the professional that he is, once he figured out that Priest was not injured, he starts to kick Priest while he's still hanging there. And then he goes and poses in front of the commentary table just to give the ref time to get Priest free. Only problem is he still couldn't get him free. So Priest is now still hanging upside down. And the ref is trying with all his might to get him out.
This is the champion, by the way.
Yes. Well, I mean, he was done. What was he going to do?
He shouldn't have been put into this position. He should stick to the fucking choke slams and the razor's edges and leave the Frankensteiners to fucking Dragon Lee.
Yeah. And again, maybe he's learned his lesson.
No, I doubt it. I bet he does it again. I'm going to work on that move and get it better.
I got to prove I can do it.
Yeah.
So McIntyre, he finally gets in the ring and he helps get Damon Priest. So he makes sense of it. He says, well, I can't win the title like this. Yeah. So he gets Damon Priest free and then the match can continue. So yeah, they continue the match.
It's kind of a different match after that too.
Yeah, from that point, Priest is selling his hurt ankle because of that spot. Almost so that you'd think, well, was that planned or not? Because he's selling it like it was planned. So yeah, the match kind of got derailed from that point. Towards the end of the match, they fight towards the corner, this being McIntyre and Priest. The ref is standing in the corner, so he's kind of out of position. And to avoid them smashing into him, the ref jumps out of the ring. The ref kind of sells a leg injury for some reason from jumping out of the ring. And then he starts to get back in the ring, and McIntyre accidentally knocks him off the apron. So we have an official ref bump spot. McIntyre, besides himself, he's like, well, let's get another ref out here. He hits a Claymore kick, clean as day on Damon Priest. And he's calling for the ref. And this was going to be something that was shot. I would say it was shot brilliantly. So he calls for the ref. You see a new ref running out. McIntyre, he goes for the pin. They show the ref slide into the ring. And it's shot where it's like behind the ref. So we get a 1 count. We get a 2 count. And then the ref just stops. And then McIntyre, he looks. And him and the ref lock eyes. And oh shit, the ref is CM Punk. CM Punk is the replacement ref. McIntyre's like, what the? You ruined my fucking moment. So he kind of like starts to choke out, like literally strangle Punk, which is kind of funny because Punk, I don't know, he didn't really defend himself yet. He was kind of getting bullied. And then Punk hits a low blow on McIntyre. This leads to a South of Heaven chokeslam. And 1, 2, 3 by the original ref, because CM Punk leaves the ring. He's done with what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't the ref.
Because that would have been a thing.
Yeah. But he just came out to fuck with him.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still heavyweight champion, Damon Priest. I don't know what happened after we went off the air, but I saw like McIntyre was celebrating, or he was standing there with the fans that were there. So last time when I lost, he stood around and sang songs with them. So I don't know what he did this time, but
who knows? Obviously, the CM Punk McIntyre feud is still getting red hot, but I don't know what this does for Priest.
I don't know. Maybe he misses Money in the Bank and then he'll be good for SummerSlam.
We'll see.
But yeah, that is your Clash at the Castle review. Some little side notes I can throw in that I don't think I mentioned. Apparently, Uncle Howdy is going to be Dave. Well, I don't know if it's just him or if it's the whole thing. Well, we finally got a date, and it's supposed to be tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. They should
Oh,
be
yeah.
coming back or debuting. So we did get that tease, but that's the little notes there. It was an okay show. There were people that weren't happy with the decisions. You can see that. Apparently, a lot of people were not happy with the McIntyre outcome. They thought they did him wrong. It's
All
like,
you had to do is be paying attention.
yeah, that's the kind of stuff that makes you question if the people watch the show, because
Right.
this story has been there for the longest time.
And yeah, McIntyre is focused on something bigger than the title right now. I assure you, CM Punk and McIntyre is going to be well more important than the heavyweight title.
Some people said maybe Randy Orton wins Money in the Bank and then he just straight up cashes in on Cody. Like, not a surprise cash in, just like, hey, I'm cashing in at SummerSlam. You're fighting me at SummerSlam. That type of deal.
That'd be something. Everybody seems to be, or not everybody, but that seems to be a match that people are intrigued by. It'd be something other than fucking AJ Styles.
Yes. And where does AJ Styles go? Because he said I quit. He said I quit. So
I quit.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see where we go from there.
Yep.